Welcome, everyone, to YPN Hot Seat. My name is Corey Whedon, mortgage lender with First Merit Bank, member of the YPN Steering Committee, and co-chair of the YPN Membership Committee. Each week, we bring you one of your fellow YPN members so that you can learn more about other members, tips, or tricks to their successes in business and life. Thank you all for spending time with us. Today, we have Andrea Carstensen, and I'm super excited to get a host with you today because actually we don't know each other that well. I think we ran across cross paths at a chamber event yesterday for the first time. We've seen each other though. So it's going to be a great interview. I'm super excited just to get to learn more about you, hear kind of what you do in life and kind of the successes. And I do know you have a little cool history that you're going to touch base on now that we're in May, middle of May, and kind of go that route. So why don't you first start off by telling each of us who you are, where you work, and what you do for a living?
Absolutely. Thanks, Corey. So Andrea Carstensen. I grew up in Fairmont, Minnesota, and came to Sioux Falls in 2014 to go to school at Augustana and kind of got sucked into our great community. So was involved at Augie and did my MBA at USF. Interned at a couple different places, Bank Minnwest, Sanford, the Home Builders Association, and I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, as most of us don't. And I kind of felt a calling and a purpose to go into nonprofit work. So I spent time at Volunteers of America Dakotas and did fundraising for them. And in this last year, just God has made things very apparent and lined up a path that I didn't expect, but it's worked perfectly. And so now I'm at Minnwest Bank and as their business development officer. So my focus is really on growing our commercial side of the bank and working with our Western region and those smaller branches in the Sioux Falls market to promote our cash management services as well. So learned a lot in the last 2 months. It was quite the change, but it's been wonderful being at Minnwest.
Yeah, so you've only been there for about 2 months.
2 months to the day.
2 months to the day. That's super awesome. And I mean, we're seeing a lot of you out and about at different activities, organizations, things like that. So what would you say is probably the hardest change going from the nonprofit world to the now banking world?
In my role before, I was out and about a lot. Yeah. And so you still have those goals to obtain. It's just a different subject matter, I feel like, that you're quote unquote selling. Fundraising is a sales role. Yep. And so in general, though, balancing your time of realizing that you're not a professional visitor, that you are a professional sales person. And so balancing your time of it's great to network, but it's also important that you're meeting those goals and helping your organization grow. Of course, just nonprofit to for-profit world is a little different in the resources that you have, the size of your team, those sort of things as well. So overall, though, been a very smooth transition.
That's good. That's good. As I know for some people it's very hard and for some people it's very easy. So just hearing the different vibes that you get from people that have made a transition one way or the other is always interesting to hear. So what would you say on a normal day, you're at work, normal day, what are pretty common activities that you're doing throughout your workday?
Yeah. I'll tell you in like 2 months when I really get it figured out. But no, right now it's still, I feel like I'm in the early phases of understanding who Minnwest is and working alongside of our bankers and understanding their needs and just generally promoting the bank right now. Minnwest doesn't have the most common name in Sioux Falls. And so how do we elevate that to the next level and letting people know of my transition? So it's a lot of events right now, training on things such as ACH and positive pay and, online banking and all those resources that commercial clients have. It's a lot of training, but I'm starting to get into the weeds of working with customers and getting them set up for success and deposit accounts going and that sort of thing. So I kind of relate it to I'm the waitress. So I'm kind of doing the front end stuff in the community. And I have these wonderful teammates who are doing the cooking in the back. And so my goal is hopefully just to be out in the community.
Yeah, that's a really cool way to look at it. And
Yeah.
coming from my past, I wasn't at a bank. So when I came over to a bank 2.5, 3 years ago, however long it was, it's like, whoa, there's all these different parts of a bank that you really don't realize until you're in the nitty gritty and really learning the different aspects of each of these different parts. So kudos to you for knowing so much in just 2 months. It takes a lot of work, a lot of educating yourself, a lot of putting yourself in vulnerable and situations that you wouldn't normally put yourself in to learn those items. So you did mention that one of the main things of your job is going to events,
Yeah.
being involved in the community, I would guess, is how you're doing that. What are you all involved in? I know YPN, obviously. We have you on the hot seat. I've seen you at a chamber mix or coffee mingle, I think is what it was. And what else are you involved in Sioux Falls?
Yeah, so YPN, I'm a diplomat for the chamber, and so I love my chamber events and chamber family. Forward Sioux Falls, helping with that campaign, emerging leaders with United Way, SME, Sales and Marketing Executives, has been a really great group. Shout out to them if anyone would be interested in joining. What else? I'm trying to think here. Was part of the Lions Club. It's hard when you don't have it all written down in front of you.
Yeah, and I do know that you're involved in quite a few things, and I'm sure the list can go on and on. You feel bad about not remembering those, but when you're so busy and you're doing so much, it's hard
and
to
learning to say no. That was
mind of
such a hard thing to
Yeah.
say no. But
Yeah.
yeah.
So, being on the hot seat, and we have a bunch of young professionals that are not only watching right now, but will watch this and overwatch this. What would you say is one of the most important committees or groups that you've been a part of that has really helped you accelerate your career to the next level that maybe we wouldn't think about, whether it's SME, maybe it is YPN, maybe it's the chamber, maybe it's the Alliance Club or something else that you're in? What would you say really took you to the next level in, I would say, personal growth, not even just career, but personal growth?
The chamber. Like,
Chamber.
I don't even say that just to have the, right answer, but I went to a chamber gathering 3 years ago or so. Someone drugged me to a membership mixer from 4 to 6 once a month, and from that moment, someone introduced themselves and invited me to the next one, which then I started helping volunteer at the front desk for those, just to get more involved and see all these different people that come to these events every night. That front desk took me to the next level because it helped me have conversation and get business cards, and that then led me to be a diplomat, which allows your connections to grow even more. The people that are in the room at those chamber events, or just the general members of the chamber, truly have become friends. My personal growth just through those connections and meeting mentors and going to different lunch and learns. But then, of course, there is the professional side that you're representing an organization, and there's connections and leads that grow your business. So the chamber is honestly the foundation of my career starting in my young 20s. So
yeah, that's cool. And you kind of hit a key word that I think a lot of young professionals feel when they're going to these chamber mixers, because they are bigger. It's a different aspect of people versus the YPN that you're going, where you're the same age, same situation in life, usually with all these other 60, 80, 90 people in the room. Going to a chamber event, you're drugged there. And I think that's very common. And I think it's something that a lot of people kind of have to be drugged there to go to them. But then when you go, it's so much fun. You get so much out of it. And Casey's doing a wonderful job on really getting those good events going. And I think it's more of a scary thing in the back of our heads versus, okay, I just need to go in and meet one person. Yeah. And that's the hardest part, is meeting that one person.
It's a goal. Hand your business card out 4 or 5 times, and that's my goal for tonight. Or I think 2020, especially in the middle of the pandemic, taught me one thing, and it's kind of like Dr. Seuss, a person's a person, but people are people. And we have every right as young professionals to reach into a CEO's LinkedIn. You have every right to call up Corey, who I've never met before, and ask for coffee. Like, there's nothing that has to be intimidating even about going to membership mixers. Like, a person is a person, and it's a conversation. And if that could be like my one piece of advice almost to people, is just, we're all humans. Like, reach out to people and build connections. And even if no one has drug you to the chamber mixer, put on your little bit of courage and just go.
Yeah, and they do have alcohol at them, so that helps. And you're spot on with that. 4 or 5 business cards. Don't go handing out business cards to 30, 40, 50 people. Make 4 or 5 really good relationships. And I guarantee if you keep going to these, you're going to find mentors that can really elevate your career tenfold easily. So
your network just starts to grow.
It does organically, and it's so cool. You never. I guarantee if you start going to them, you will be in a different spot in your life 2 years from now.
Absolutely, I attest to it.
Yeah, I do too. Absolutely. So we do have a question. What do you like best about our fair city, and how do you cultivate connections to build clientele? So what do you like best about Sioux Falls?
The sense of community, which sounds like the most lackluster answer that everyone else says, but it truly does feel like kind of a small town. You can definitely go to the store and run into someone that you know. And the best part of it too is people want to have conversation with you. And if you ask someone you already know to have coffee and you say, hey, bring someone that I don't know along with us, that's the best part. Like, Sioux Falls is so open to have conversation and invite people to events. And we're just a loving city. It's great, right?
And I know for a fact firsthand, because I'm going through this right now, if you reach out to somebody who's very influential in Sioux Falls, a CEO, a business owner, I guarantee they're most likely going to make time to meet with you for a quick coffee, 30 minutes even, or a quick lunch or something like that. Very seldom do you get that hard no, I don't want to see you achieve. And that's a great thing about Sioux Falls is our chamber members that are very successful are trying to get that next generation up and going to get there. So how do you cultivate connections to build clientele?
Just being genuine. Like, I feel like there's, these sales practices, or there's these rules of how to properly network. Just be yourself. Like, people love to have a breath of fresh air. And it's okay to talk about life before you get to any clientele aspect of it. Get to know someone for who they are, and then you bring in business and you can talk about the nitty gritty. But just do it.
Yeah, cool. And we do have one more question, but we're not going to touch base on it yet. Hopefully we do have time, James. I'm sorry. But, one of the big things about May that many people might not know, but hopefully they do know, and hopefully it's starting to become more in the spotlight, but May is Mental Health Month.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's one of the reasons we reached out to you, because you do have a really cool story, a story that many people should probably could hear. Maybe it'll help one person. That'd be awesome. And then how Sioux Falls is really lacking in that. So do you want to kind of touch base on what your story is since it's May?
Yeah, happy to. Definitely took a spot in May. It's Mental Health Month. I struggled with an eating disorder pretty bad in high school and college. And it's frankly something that you still deal with every day for the rest of your life. And just having the right people in my life at the right time to get help. I went to the Emily program in Minneapolis, and would take that drive. And when being in Sioux Falls, it came to my mind that we just don't have affordable, accessible access to mental health, specifically focusing on the eating disorder side of things. There's no real treatment opportunities. And so I've had some great conversations with Steph Clement and Sanford and VOA to really try to create some type of program that can help people, that they shouldn't have to drive to the cities in order to get that help. Or if they go to Fargo for treatment and they come back to Sioux Falls, now what? And the biggest thing you need when struggling with anorexia or bulimia is support. And so I hope that becomes something that Sioux Falls could be known for. And I've realized that there's a strength to sharing your story some, and I'm definitely willing to talk with people. If you have any suspicions of people who are going through some tough times, or you yourself are struggling with an eating disorder, know that it's okay, and that there is help, and the first step is just telling someone. So my parents are wonderful, and definitely were what I needed in that moment, and God is good. Your story comes full circle, and so I'm grateful to be where I am today. It definitely makes you stronger.
It does. So what is the first step for somebody who's listening to this? Somebody who's maybe like, I know that person, or even that person is themselves. What would you say is the first step to really going the other direction, really trying to help themselves out in Sioux Falls?
Mm-hmm. Tell one person.
One person.
Just tell one person and have them hold you accountable a little bit. Like, it's not an overnight switch, but tell one person. And that's where I wish Sioux Falls did have more, was that it was known that we have resources, that you can call up Sanford and they're going to, be able to, if it's that severe, get you into something immediately, or schedule an appointment with a specialized counselor of some sort. But yeah, just tell one person. And I think that's probably the biggest thing I would say, is there doesn't have to be shame with it. It's literally chemicals in your brain that tell you that don't eat, or don't hold food down, or overeat. Like, it is just in your brain. There's nothing wrong with you. So,
So the facilities that can help, you mentioned Sanford. Is there any others that people can go to? And does Sanford charge money for something like that?
I really don't know, Corey. And that's something, so I did the Emily program in the cities. And when I was at school at Augie, we had some free resources for being a college student across the street at, it's like Sioux Falls Seminary, that building, Sioux Falls Science. But it wasn't really what I needed. Like, it wasn't specialized. And so I think over time, I maybe kind of came out of it, but there definitely could be many more resources in Sioux Falls. So I really don't know the answer to that. And hopefully just sharing this on camera is something that someone is going, yeah, we should do that. And we can really start to develop something more. So,
yeah. And not even that, but if hopefully somebody is listening to this and seeing you on camera, having the courage, like many people have said in the comments, just having that courage to say something is really just saying it's nothing to be ashamed about.
Yeah.
Don't be ashamed about it. It's life. It's just a chemical reaction, like you said.
It takes time to get to that point. Even a year ago, I probably would not be saying anything. But 2020 has taught us all about mental health, and it's okay to be dealing with whatever it is. It's been a rough year for a lot of us. So
yeah, and it's starting to come out more and more in professional sports. It's starting to come out it's starting to become more common than I think people thought it was in their own communities and in their own things that they are interested in. So it's absolutely nothing to be ashamed about, which is so cool for you to be, on here telling us your story and being willing to share that with us. So, we still have about 11 minutes left of this, but I just want to thank you now for being willing to do that. And if anybody sees you at any event around town, or they reach out to you afterwards, are you okay with them reaching out to you and you being that person they start with?
Yeah, I think in a sense, like, I think we all have to be able to recognize how much we can handle. And I know that is one thing about myself, is I tend to want to help too much at times. I'm so happy to be that person that can say it's all right, and like, it's tough and I get it, and direct you to maybe the Emily program, or direct you to Steph Clemens. She's been a wonderful gal in Sioux Falls that's passionate about that. But of course, just to be a listening ear, absolutely.
Yeah, they can come to you and say, Andrea, this is me.
Yeah, we don't have to always have smiling faces on.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy sometimes, and it's fun, but yeah.
Cool. So we'll get into some of our other stuff, but James did have a question, and I think you might have answered this. You might have a different answer, though. If you could bring one business to Sioux Falls, what would that business be?
Dunkin' Donuts.
Dunkin' Donuts.
I mean, I love scooters, like Travis Rhodes, go to scooters, like love scooters. But Dunkin' Donuts, there's just something about it, you guys.
The drink aspect or the food aspect? They still serve food, right?
Both. Yeah, both. Who doesn't love like a cheap donut hole?
Yeah.
Like, and so, I mean, I have my eye on a spot in Sioux Falls, but it's never going to actually happen. I don't know. I'm just not gutsy enough. But if someone's listening to this, bring Dunkin' Donuts, please. And I will be like a poster child in Sioux Falls.
Write a letter to someone, Andrea. just write a letter and see what happens. I guess other than that, we'll kind of work our way down a few of the questions here. And we heard a little bit about what you're passionate about with yourself in the community. What other things are you passionate about that you can really tell us about?
Oh, gosh. I just like being fun. Like, is that a stupid question or a stupid answer? Like, I think there's just something about being passionate about bringing energy and light and just being a fun place or a fun person in a setting. I'm just passionate about making joy happen. My faith is important to me and I want to be that example. But passionate about going out with friends and trying new foods and going to a brewery and all those just fun activities that you can try once or keep doing. Enjoy cooking, golfing now that it's getting back into that weather. I'll do anything once. Right?
Yeah. And, speaking about the joy and fun that you bring with you, I see it all the time. I have seen you at multiple events. We just never met until this last event yesterday. But I feel like I always see 2, 3, 4, 5 people always around you. And I feel like when you bring that energy to anything, people just gravitate towards you. And you can just see that you're one of those people where people just gravitate toward.
You're kind. Thank you.
That's so cool.
I feel like you're kind of the same person. You get it.
Well, it is what you make of it. If you don't make it, you're not going to go back. So, yes, absolutely. We will touch base on this real quick before we get to everybody's favorite speed round. We got 20 questions for you. We're going to hit those up. But what is your favorite YPN event and why?
The birthday bash is always fun.
Okay.
It's fun this year to see everyone come back out. The seat at the tables, I think, are great. Just to see some of the successes or challenges and lessons of people in our community. It's an encouragement to see what they're up to and what they're doing. Really, any event, though, is fun. Just like I said, just go to them. You'll run into one person, have a conversation, and you don't know what could come out of it.
Of course, you would say the birthday bash, our biggest event of the year.
Yeah.
There's so many people together. That's where you're really going to strike.
And there's drinks, right? We already started on the drinks part. That's important.
Yeah. And for anybody that's listening and wants that experience, yes, the birthday bash is once a year, so it will be next year. But we do have the Kringle that comes up kind of in December, January area, depending on when we can reserve something and get that all kind of to fruition. So if you want another experience of the birthday bash, the Kringle is really, really fun as well. And it's just as big, just as fun. So what would you say are 3 of the best words that would describe you?
Motivated.
Okay.
Bubbly. I think we kind of covered that a little bit.
Yep.
And maybe just like compassionate or caring. Yep. We'll go with that. Are those 3?
I would say that. Absolutely. Yeah. I didn't know if you'd throw fun in there or not, but bubbly works.
It's fun on the nights I'm out and about. Like, I'm extroverted, but do not kid yourself that there are at least 1-2 nights a week where don't talk to me. Like, let me be on my couch watching my reality TV. Like, I need my recharge.
Yep. What's your show right now?
Oh, gosh. Right now, I just finished Brothers and Sisters on, is it Hulu? That was a really good one. There's like 6 seasons, so it takes time. It was great. I recommend it.
Awesome. Okay, cool. I know we have just 5 minutes here, so we'll touch base on this really quick. We'll hit up the 20 questions, and then we'll head out. So what is your favorite chamber event and why?
Oh, I love mixers.
Mixers. Okay. The biggest of the month.
Oh, I love mixers.
You just love being around a lot of people.
My
That's
just
awesome.
general diplomat meetings though are great. They're meeting right now, so shout out to my diplomats. I think it's right now still. But that's just a fun thing too, to gather us together and go about who we're going to make calls to for the month and reports and that sort of thing. It's not technically a public event, obviously, but anytime you just have chamber people together is fun. So yeah, the mixers come to.
Cool. And if anybody listening wants to become a diplomat, I do know the chamber takes on so many diplomats every year. So if you want to be a diplomat, reach out to Andrea. She can at least tell you how you can apply, how you can get started, what you should do if you don't get a spot this year, how to get a spot the next year or the year after, and so forth. So she can actually absolutely be an advocate for that as well. We're going to hit the speed round real quick. You ready?
Let's go.
All right. We're nailing things off right away. Dog or cat?
Dog.
Neither. You have neither. Netflix or Hulu?
I want a dog.
No, you want a dog? That's fair. Netflix or Hulu?
Hulu.
Call or text?
Text.
Facebook or Twitter?
Facebook.
Ice cream or snow cone?
Ice cream.
Music or podcast?
Music.
Apple or Android?
Apple.
High tech or low tech?
Low tech.
Okay. Work hard or play hard?
Work hard.
Hamburger or taco?
Taco. Mexican food for the win.
There you go. I'm right there with you. Online shopping or in-store?
In-store.
Coke or Pepsi?
Neither.
Iced or hot coffee?
Iced.
Save or spend?
Save.
TV or book?
Both right now.
Okay. City or countryside?
Countryside of a city.
Winter or summer?
Summer.
Beer or wine?
Wine.
Show or movie?
Show.
Off the clock or morning mingle?
Off the clock.
All right, there you go. That is speed round, rapid fire questions. Andrea, super cool. And really, a dog and you don't have one, huh?
I want a dog.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm getting a townhome in October, and so I feel like it's kind of like a pregnant lady like expecting her first in October, and now I'm just like excited and anticipating it.
Yep.
I just feel like a dog is gonna be the next step in life. Not
Okay.
a yard, like I want a dog.
Very cool. Very cool. We will start to wrap up. Next week, we do have Sadie Swire, who is the Community Outreach Coordinator with Downtown Sioux Falls. All those First Fridays that you guys go to downtown and other downtown events, Sadie actually helps plan those. She helps coordinate them, and she helps execute all those amazingly fun times. So you're not going to want to miss Sadie's interview with Dakota Jordan next week. It is going to be fun. She's going to be taking all these ideas, telling you what they do, and kind of planning those and making those actually happen. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I think a lot of us know Sadie, and she's just a fun person to listen to, just like you, Andrea.
Yeah,
so,
Sadie's a rock star.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Andrea, I do want to thank you for taking the time to not only just hang out with us, but also share your story, share that with so many people that, I'm a big believer that as long as it touches one person,
yeah,
you made all the difference to that person. So absolutely, thank you so much. You are one of those fun people where if anybody is out at any of these events and you see Andrea, go talk to her. Go have some fun. I guarantee if you spend time with Andrea at one of these events, you will gravitate back to another event and see Andrea there as well. And you'll just have so much fun and meet her friends and meet so many more friends. Andrea, before we head out, is there any way that people can connect with you?
Yes, I think Casey put my email down there, but Facebook, LinkedIn, send a smoke signal.
You'll get to them somehow.
Right?
One way or another, they're going to find you.
Yeah, no, this was fun, Corey. And now we can actually go have a meeting, and now we're going to talk about you then.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll get you all up to speed on who I am.
Yeah, I love that.
I'm pretty boring. No big deal.
Oh.
All right, well, Andrea, thank you so much for spending time with us. Next week, we do have Sadie Swire with Dakota Jordan. So tune in for that. If you can't watch it live, we do post these on YouTube and the YPN Facebook page. So you can go back, rewatch anything. Maybe if you want to rehear what Andrea has said, go check those out. Give us a like, all that good stuff. So we will see everybody soon. And Andrea, again, thank you so much.
Bye, guys.
See ya.